Anyways, hey, yo, what's up?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Guys, welcome back to another episode of No Filter in Paraíso, Aruba's favorite podcast, and that's on what?
And that's on Periódico, baby.
Guys, we're back with another episode. Hope you guys liked the Chucky episode last week. Actually, Chucky, no. It's a long-distance relationship. Shout out to the Q-Tip gang. That's me. Today's episode, like, guys, usually when it comes to our episodes, it's all about entertainment, fun, laughs, talking bullshit. But
Not all the time.
not all the time. But that's what today's one of those episodes. It's not all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we said with the Michael Fowler episode, it's entertainment,
Entertainment.
inspire, and educate. So I think this episode is gonna be a good educational episode. Because I need to learn some shit about business, and Shark needs to learn some shit about business because we know almost nothing. So we thought, let's bring someone
You don't know.
that I don't know much. I'm learning. I have a meeting tomorrow with my aunt. She's an administratie person. She's gonna teach me about payroll and all that bullshit.
Oh, yeah. I have an account for that. Like, she helps
I
me
know
with that.
nothing, bro. I know nothing. But either way, so we thought let's bring a business person, an entrepreneur, and I was like, who better than the one, the only Mr. Omar Steve.
Leisure.
I'm
I feel like people forget your last name, no?
Leisure.
I know, but I just call him
I'm a
Omar
proud
Steve all the time.
Leisure.
Huh?
I'm very proud to be Leisure.
100%.
I mean, hello.
100%. So yeah, Steve, welcome to the show. It's called Steve or Omar or whatever, doesn't matter.
Omar Steve.
Omar Steve, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming. And when I texted you, you were like, I'm not really sure. And I'm like, let me think about it. I'm like, cool. I thought like this guy's never coming.
Yeah, he's going to say no
He's
for
like,
sure.
not either he's gonna leave me on read or but what if ASM, legal bossa. Legal bossa.
Nooit meer.
And hey, by the way, pavimento of English. Pavimento of English.
Both. We can do
Sure?
both. A little bit of English, a little
Little
bit
bit
of
English?
Pavimento, a little bit of Dutch.
A little bit of everything.
It's
Spanish.
all good.
Spanglish.
Flex and tiki. I'm not mad.
Exactly.
Do your big one.
Exactly. This is Aruba.
Basta, ora message. Omar Steve like, basta legal bossa, né bom. Basta ora você rende, ASM, legal bossa, Simang. 3-4 minutos passa, ainda estou guardando. So, and honestly, assim, uma querida também passa. Então, ele message me ayer eigenlijk. Of that mean, though.
Anteayer. Day before yesterday.
Yeah, and it's like, let's fucking do it. I'm like,
Yeah,
So-
something happened. And it triggered me that, listen, we need to start talking about certain situations
Yeah.
and have an open conversation about a lot of stuff. So
100%. Well, before because that's also a topic that I saw, because you're very vocal about certain things. And there's a lot of things that you say on social media that I fully agree with you. But before we dive into this, for people who are watching that have no idea who you are, maybe you can tell a little bit about yourself and what do you do? What have you done so far?
Who you are. Just
Exactly.
flex. Like,
Yeah.
give you a big one.
Don't be shy. Say it.
Well, I can tell you where I'm at and then a little bit of where I started, all right? I own a couple of companies, some of them together with my brother, some not. So I got a billboard company, almost all the billboards on the island.
I see them. Shout out
You
to
know,
I see Larissa everywhere now on the billboards, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Larissa.
Larry.
Good friends. Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I got Heart Radio, Heart Radio. What more? I Love Aruba, the brand I Love Aruba. We got Aruba Sun, the sunblock, do large format printing, and now we're heavily into real estate also.
Ooh, nice.
So
I saw some of them properties. Wow.
yeah, we're very content artistic entrepreneurs, and actually all our products are exactly the same in a different form. So I wouldn't consider us businessmen at all, just like you guys are artists in your form. There are a lot of types of artists, and
In their own ways.
yeah,
I fucks with that.
yeah, you know. So a lot of people see businessman. We spoke a little bit about. We touched this topic.
A little
Businessman.
bit. Listen.
Yeah, we spoke for
We
an hour and a half,
I
man.
hung up. My girl was like, "God damn, I'm never that long on the phone." And I'm over here. She's working across from me, and I'm smiling. I'm like, "Yo, I'm getting fucking hyped," because we went deep in some conversation. I'm like, I wish we had cameras rolling at that moment, but I thought when he called me, it was like, oh, like probably 10-20 minute conversation. Yo, we were talking for like an hour and a half, just going deep and going back and forth. But anyways,
But I'm very intense too.
you know, trust me, I felt it in your voice when you were talking to me. It's like I'm getting a hype man in my ear, like, all right, let's go, business, let's
That's
go.
why I like legit prepared myself today with absolutely nothing today because
Yo.
I was like, you know what?
Listen.
Today, this is Omar Steve, Les Jouets.
Listen, I'm the
Y'all
same.
don't freaking know. I am here to stay, baby. We
That's
gonna
funny,
talk
that's
today.
No, I'm telling you, I'm the same. Like, I don't have my laptop. Even my phone usually is here so I can look at like topics. I'm like, listen, I'm here to fucking learn and just
We going all in.
flow with the conversation.
I hope that I can teach whoever's listening something. All I can talk about is my experience and what I did and where I'm going and stuff I agree with, stuff I don't agree with, why I agree with something, and even I can even agree with people I disagree with, but certain things I can't understand. You
Okay.
know, so those are and entrepreneurship, the beauty about it. A lot of kids are not inspired to become entrepreneurs, and so there's so in my family with my kids and my nephews, we talk about this the whole day,
yeah.
every day. You
And
know?
that's like
And it's-
so let's dig down a little bit in your past and like what made you want to become an entrepreneur?
it's half luck, half yeah, because my first son, so my ex she got pregnant, and I needed to make a living. So I was forced into the serious life, and so I went to school I did colegio, did the whole shebang. But then at a certain moment when I was on vacation on Aruba, I said, you know what, I'm gonna start selling coupons. Coupons. Back in the days there was no internet. I started selling coupons, and basically from the marketing aspect or media, you can create out of nothing from something. So we're not. My parents were not from rich people at all. We lived in a house as the size of a Casa Pueblo. And so I had to do something.
You have to figure it out.
I had to figure it out. Yeah. But what I'm a little bit mad at is that we didn't get this stuff at school.
That's the
That I
problem.
fully
I
agree.
burned a lot of years without getting certain information, and which is why now I think we need to talk about this stuff.
I agree.
They tried to teach me French at school. What the hell am I doing with that?
I agree.
So started selling coupons. From there on, I had a magazine, couple of magazines. Then people started asking me, do you sell billboards? Well, if 10 people start asking you if you sell billboards, you're like, yeah, well, let's do that.
Let's do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's a market.
I mean, you
Yeah.
see, there's a gap. Oh, if people are asking, it's kind of like, I mean, let's use No Filter as an example. We kind of stopped for a little bit, and then people kept asking, like, are you guys gonna come back? When are you guys releasing a new episode? And then we're like, fuck, people are still asking about this. Let's
Of course.
restart this whole shit again.
Yeah.
But
Grassroots, man. Those are the best businesses. You start small and you keep
you
on
gradually
growing.
grow.
So you take out all the as you say in Dutch, kinderziektes,
Yeah.
and you start taking it from there.
Did you ever finish school, or you just drop out and pursue
No, I never finished school. But I don't consider myself smart either. But I'm pretty smart enough to take chances. Got enough balls to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
There were other people's. I think other people are even more ballsy to work for bosses. You're just a number once you have a boss. Most of the time.
Easily replaceable
And
too.
yeah, so I think it's a lot more gutsy to work for a boss than to become a boss.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I was like,
Okay, you scared me.
no,
I was,
looking at his
his
microphone. I'm like, wait, is the volume even high on? Like,
No.
well, I should make a checklist before we start recording. But anyways, no, I agree. Like a lot of people I think it's what we're all taught from a young age. Even myself, my dad's like, go to school, get those good grades, and so you can go into a better school, get those good grades, so you get a good job. And I started thinking, like I went to APE, so hospitality school, and I remember I was in my first year at APE, and I'm like, there are 3 classes, 3 years in front of me, and I'm like, by the time I'm done, or everybody who's in front of me probably got a position that I'm also applying for.
Exactly.
So I was like, what the fuck is the whole? I'm not saying not going to school, but like, what's the point of doing something that everybody's doing that it becomes all saturated? And I'm like, okay, I just spent $70,000 on school. I went like here to study, there to study, and then I come back to be a front office manager, which is nothing wrong with that. But it's like I trained to be a GM, but I'm a front office clerk, and I'm like, what the fuck? And how am I gonna pay my debt, pay my mortgage, pay my kids, I don't understand it. And then I ended up going into network marketing. And then I remember there was somebody that was making a fuckload of money in network marketing. And he told me, because I was in Miami, he's like, Samil, on your way back, if you can do one thing for me, just walk to a bookstore and just find the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And promise me you read it, and then after that, let me know what you think. And that book changed my perspective completely about school, about life, about business, yada, yada, yada. So if you haven't read that book, guys, go read it.
It's a very good book.
It's
I didn't read a lot of books in my life. I don't
Neither.
even believe in reading books because I don't want other people the information in my head.
You want to
I want to experience everything myself. Now, I'm not saying that I'm against school. Don't get me wrong. You know,
course not.
there's a lot of information you get from school, but even a lot of teachers don't understand the game.
No.
You know, and even if you try to explain it to them, I had a school where regularly they invite me to start talking with the kids, and I really do my best. But I think I sound crazy once I'm in the class, because I'm start telling them, listen, man, you guys, you know, who has rich parents, who has poor parents, who has discipline, who doesn't have discipline, who's washing cars in the weekends, who's saving money. The ones who's saving money right now, that's the one that's going to be shining in 20 years. Yeah. You know, and who's working on their future, so they're not talking about this stuff, not enough. And you got to make it a lot of fun too, because you're playing chess against society. Mm-hmm. You know, you're trying to make plans and you're trying to see into the future. And I love those scenarios because it takes a lot of planning, man.
So guys, real quick, a little commercial just so you know. Make sure you go try Aruba's newest beer, the most refreshing beer on the island, the Heineken Silver. Now, here at No Filter, we're going to give away this 6-pack. All you need to do is leave a comment down below and we will pick a winner next week, guys. So leave a comment. And if you want to go buy one, go to your nearest media market and get one for yourself. It's extra refreshing. So back to the show.
I feel like schools definitely have like a big perspective to play part of it.
100%.
Because like so many like real life situations you don't get out of school. And a lot of the times certain kids, like for myself, I was not as good in school. Sorry. School was not my thing.
Me neither.
It was not my forte.
Me neither.
But anytime I had to do anything with arts, like I had to do something with my hands or whatever, like say no fucking more, bitch. I got this. But when it came to like, oh shit, you gotta study, you gotta remember this bullshit. You gotta remember that Pete, whoever the fuck is Pete, he bought 5 apples and now he got to give away 2 and then he got like this. And why is this story so complicated? Can't we just calculate this thing and just like, okay, here, Pete, there you go. But like, I understand where those things are coming from. But then at the same time, like, where are the real true values of what you're really going to learn in life? You know, why aren't kids getting taught of like, hey, plant certain things so you can grow certain things like on the island that we don't have to import all these type of things, you know? Like teach people healthy living and all of this good stuff. But there's an agenda, clearly.
Yeah. And okay, so my parents, they're both from Aruba. We were born and raised on the island. By coincidence, I was born in Holland. But let's delete that one. But I went to the Basel school for a certain amount of years, you know, in Holland. And they will talk about business from 6, 7 years old. Ooh. You know, we had something called over there Stuivertjesmarkt. All the kids had to bring to school either their old teddy bear, old clothing, and if you didn't have anything, you could bring a ball and a couple of bottles so people could throw it, and all the kids would get like 10 fake dollars, let's say it like that, right? And with that $10, you had some kids that would spend it in 5 minutes, but there was this mega teddy bear, and it was like $100. And with your dollars, you needed to make that money to buy that teddy bear. And that's where you started to learn the difference between business, service, saving, and you did it once a month. And so that's how you start learning, like, oh, that's how, and the Dutch, although then I don't agree with a lot of their politics, but they know business. You know, they know business. Just like Aruba knows tourism. You know, we know tourism. We don't even know how well we know tourism.
That right there.
We think the rest of the world is just like Aruba. No, it's not. We Arubans were very friendly. We talk many languages. And it's just, as they say it in Dutch, like bij de paplepel ingegoten.
No idea what that means.
You know, it means you were born, you were raised with it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
embodied.
You.
It's just
embodied
there.
in you.
You can't change it.
No, you can't change it. And this spirit needs to change a little bit on the island. I mean, about 2% of the whole island is an entrepreneur. I'm not even talking about businessmen, all right? So it's about 2%. The rest, the 98%, is getting a job from that 2%.
Yeah.
And that 2% doesn't get listened to a lot. Because you're not interested. You know, you're such a small group. And people think when you talk about business, you're talking about money. No, you're not.
It's not.
You're not talking about money. You're talking about time, freedom, your family. You're talking about insurance. You're talking about sleeping at night.
Mental peace.
You know, mental peace. You know, some people want to become Bill Gates. I don't, man. I want to play with my kids. I want to have fun. I want to drink water. I want to watch TV. I want peace. And
freedom, yeah.
no money
It
brings
does
not
not.
peace.
Yeah.
It brings the opposite of peace. You know, and a lot of times with a small change in your life, you can get that peace. You know, a lot of people, you're not allowed to rent an apartment on your own property next to your house. What are we talking about? It's my house.
Yeah.
You know, I build it. If I can get another $1,000 or 1,000 florins for it, okay.
makes
And I
it
know
much easier.
I'm talking about experience. I know somebody that's it's a teacher at school. Listen, teachers at school they reach a certain level, 48 years old, that they don't get any money anymore from the government.
As in
That's the cap.
They
That's the cap.
plateaued.
Yeah.
So whatever they're making
Yeah.
then, that's what they're going to make.
That's
for
what
the
they're
rest
going
of
to
their
make in
career.
the rest of their life, something like that. All right.
Until they go pension.
We need teachers. You know, we need them. And now we also want to tell them that they can't rent their apartment in their own yard. You know, stuff like that. And a lot of them, and either we talk about firefighters, police, teachers. We need all of these people, and we need to help them to earn more money by educating them, telling what's possible, and giving them options. And somebody I know, she built a couple of apartments, and that's the difference for her between mental health or not. You know, because you can't with the money you're making as a teacher, you can't make ends
can't.
meet.
I mean, not even teachers, even people that work at, like in downtown, that work in one of the clothing stores, like so, like not it's more than just teachers. There's a lot of people that don't make enough.
Of
They make
course.
enough to pay their rent or their mortgage and their food, but there's no money enough for themselves to go out and enjoy recreation, go on vacation with the family once a year, go to the movies. Like they go to movies like once every 3 months because that's what they can afford.
That's
That-
because a lot of people become bitch of society.
That's the problem. Because I feel like that is kind of like, you can kind of change your mental. But a teacher, like, we need teachers that actually care, like passionately care for the job. Like an impactful teacher that you remember that teacher, like even when you're a grown-ass
Grown up.
adult, you can be like, yo, that teacher impacted my life. That teacher taught me this.
Yeah.
And it's a few people that have those teachers. And the way that things are going right now, we don't have, they can't afford to passionately come and do their job because they don't have the funds.
Yeah.
School is not giving them the funds. Their salaries is not giving them that funds. So they try to find other means of like, hey, let me make money these other ways. But now they're getting cock blocked even then. So then it's like, okay, so do I still be a teacher, which is something that I passionately wanted to do and I studied for all these years to do it. But now that I say something that I can't pretty much live based off of how everything's going, people are like, oh, you're ungrateful. Y'all get a bunch of these free off days and all this nonsense. Like, why y'all complaining and yada, yada, yada. These people are like, who are basically raising your kids. Like,
Yeah.
They're essential.
they are the fucking most essential. And the ones that do it horribly, they're not the ones complaining. They don't care.
Yeah. That's why a business.
That's the problem.
A lot of time, people put business in the perspective of, okay, let's make a lot of money, let's do it. But listen, there's so much business between the smallest business and the biggest business, and everything in between. Business is one word, or entrepreneurship, for a million stuff.
So much.
You know, if you want to be a ballerina, you could do, a dancing school, or sell glasses, or fashion, or whatever it is, man. There's something for everybody. And we should trigger people to do that. Because one thing I can say, Aruba has a lot of opportunities.
So much.
A lot. You know, so we can't give only the government the blame.
Blame.
We need to put the work in also. But I see a lot of people that don't believe enough in themselves to start doing.
And those same
Stuff.
people are the ones who are complaining to the government. Ay, pavi gobyerno.
Yeah, they complain for everything. Complain
And
for
that,
everything.
that's what I want to say in this thing, because I'm a bitcher too. All right, but
Wait,
I'm
you
not
bitch-
bitching for myself whenever I bitch on Facebook. Right,
Yeah.
man, you guys make me talk dirty.
Welcome to No
No,
Filter
okay.
Paradise.
Hey, if you want to say whatever you want.
Yeah, because I'm not complaining about my own life. I'm seeing the business life on Aruba. The problem is a little bit. It's we got business partners in our business, just like another country. That's called government. All right.
Yeah.
And these business partners, imagine you have a business partner and they keep on changing the deal. You know, listen, the deal is
Is
this
set.
percentage.
This is
Yeah.
it.
And then they change the deal. No, you know what? Now the deal is this.
Yeah.
I
And
see
then-
you're doing it's going good. So like we have to change it. Like
We
this
have,
is it.
We have to
I need a
change
bit
it.
more. Yeah.
You know, and so that's why that's not fair.
And
know?
then with that,
And
also,
if you don't listen, you get locked up.
but with that also, even how the deal changes, it changes for certain markets and certain markets not.
Yeah.
So some things like, let's say, I'm not throwing nobody under the bus or anything like that, but like sometimes like for like jewelry, like import, it's lower than for
Like electronics. stuff.
electronics.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so then that price isn't going up, so they can just keep importing and making billions off of this market. But then the other ones, which are trying to make something like for the locals and trying to do all this good stuff, gotta pay extra import fees because it's
Yeah, but that's a
it's a lot.
It's actually the opposite, you know, because every time we raise taxes on the island, we stop a lot of business transactions. Because back in the days, I don't know if you guys remember, I'm a little bit older than you guys, but when the cruise ships used to stop on the island, the tourists would buy a shitload of electronics. Why? Because we were about 5 to 6% cheaper than in the States. It would make sense. But then they raised the taxes, thinking that it would be better for the business called Aruba, okay? For the how do you say that? E cartera, e cartera di Aruba.
The wallet,
The
Aruba's
wallet,
wallet.
Aruba's
Yeah.
wallet, the business Aruba. So they raised it, and all the electronic sales went down.
So they were mostly thinking about like let's not care about Umar and Shark's electronic business. Let's think about what's better for Aruba, even though I'm gonna fuck you over.
It's short-term thinking.
Yeah.
It's
the
short-term
fast
thinking.
money.
You know, if
Yeah.
we Aruba, because that's the whole thing, and that's one of the reasons that I'm also sitting here. We need to start talking about changing the whole tax system. Our tax system, it's a malbruha.
It's killing.
It's killing, you know. And I always tell people, I try to explain him like this. All right.
Go ahead. Yeah. Because I was gonna ask, like, can you give an example, like, how is it?
Imagine we're playing baseball. Baseball is very famous on the island, and the local team gets 3 strikes. Okay, and the international team gets 6 strikes, and that's the rule.
Yeah. It's not
Okay,
fair.
and if you say, listen, hello, that's not fair. You're like, no, man, you're an asshole. You only think about the money. You do this, guys. Listen, the local businesses pay 14%, baby yo, but direct import pays 7%.
What do you mean? So give me an example. Like, so,
If I import something,
yeah.
I pay 7%, and then I sell it to you,
Yeah.
and you sell it again.
Yeah.
Seven-
As a wholesaler
yes.
to a
Exactly,
yeah.
7
Yeah.
plus 7.
Okay, that's already
Okay?
14.
That's 14.
Yeah.
But if you import it directly,
So without going through a
no,
wholesaler.
without going through me,
Yeah.
you import it directly and you sell it to a tourist, you only pay 7. Okay?
Yeah.
So-
It's not fair for. It's not equally balanced for everybody
We're
else.
doing exactly the opposite as motivating people to become entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because we're cutting their wings even before they come up.
Exactly.
And this is very fixable by adapting. I mean, you got sales tax in the United States, you got BTW in Holland. It evens out the playing field. Now, If the taxes are high or low, that's a whole different discussion. But at least everybody gets 3 strikes.
Yeah.
And that's the first thing we need to start with. We need to set up a fair playing field. If I almost cannot tell a young kid right now, start your own business.
I'm like,
Because my conscience isn't there unless you're in a service business.
yeah.
But 99% of, or almost all the people, what do we produce on the island? Nothing.
aloe. That's it.
Yeah,
And-
so we're
and
all
one
middle,
per-
we're,
and one
we're all
person-
we're
and
all
one person-
middlemen.
yeah.
You're being sponsored right now by a great beer that I love to drink, Heineken.
Shout out to Heineken Silver, our
Yeah, it's an
sponsor.
amazing
Hey.
beer.
Yeah.
But that being said, they're paying more taxes for that bottle that you're drinking than somebody that's importing Heineken directly, and they're sponsoring you.
At some
Not-
point, it's gonna stop. I hope not.
No, that's a good thing. But you know what I mean? They're sponsoring. They're sponsoring Carnival.
Yeah.
They're sponsoring the local soccer games. They're sponsoring all the kids, the basketball. Direct import doesn't sponsor anything.
I understand what you mean. So basically, you're killing a big company
Or
that's
small company.
supporting. I mean, I'm talking about Roma as an example.
Yeah.
Like you're basically slowly killing them, and a company that puts a lot of input into the local communities, like soccer,
Yeah.
this show,
Yeah.
baseball. And then somebody who directly imports doesn't even give a fuck about these people. Like, I'm just gonna do it for myself with the money.
I wouldn't know. No, I think that's a wrong conclusion.
yeah.
They
I mean,
don't do it because of that. I would not buy from you, Samil, just because I like you. If I can buy something else somewhere else and it's $7,000 cheaper,
You'll do
then
it.
I wouldn't. I would say, Samil, sorry, man.
Business is business.
Business. So they don't have any bad intent. The people that directly import, they just do whatever's better for their business.
Yeah, I just got scolded.
No,
I mean, in a good way. Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, but it's very basic economics, and the frustration on the island right now under the business people is, why is nobody listening to this? You know, we're talking. I'm talking about this started back in, I think 10 years ago. So it's not even this government or the government. It started.
it's been going on.
Baby au cumulatif doesn't exist anywhere in the world.
Except for here.
Yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah.
All right, you can double check that. So yeah, that's that's
Yeah, I'm
that's one of the things.
I had a
Some
question. I
crazy
just
shit.
literally like left in my fucking head.
Okay, but
Go
like
for it.
I feel like another part that I feel like a lot of people don't, and it's something like you mentioned, and I feel like a lot of people don't focus on it too much, is like you save. That's a great thing to save, but I feel like some of us get to where we are because of risk takings, and risk taking come with investments, and I feel like sometimes a lot of the times you can save your money. But if you invest that money or part of that money into something else that will multiply that money, you get to save so much more and you get to start on so much more ideas that might come to mind. And I feel like a lot of people don't act on ideas because they just feel like, oh no, it's probably impossible. Like, na Aruba, kom je logren, ik was na hey. No, it's always the same people winning. And like Omar says, it's like the same small group that keeps saying, hey, let me help, pero everybody looks at them like, stop.
Yeah. Well, we're saving and investing is almost the same thing. All right. There's 2 ways of saving money. You save it at the bank, or you save it by investing and getting something out of it. But both are important. You know,
100%.
And you should also be a kid whenever you're a kid. You know, invest and make mistakes, but there should be a certain emphasis. My kids, all right. So I got one of 25 years old, and I got my sobrinos of 25 years old also.
It's Justin.
Yeah, those
Everybody
trees.
saves money.
Yeah.
All right. One of them, both are actually they're talking about buying their first house.
Nice.
And now, but they were saving for 5-6 years. You know, not a short time. And they're not buying their first house to live in. Are you nuts? That's what
Fucking
society
crazy.
teaches you.
The worst thing to do.
You buy a house and you rent it out.
Yep.
You will buy your dream house when you're 45 or 50.
Yeah. That's exactly what he told me 2 days ago. Like,
You know, and society now teaches you, okay, so back in the days at colegio. Now, remember, at pure luck, I became an entrepreneur, but I liked it. And then I started getting mad. Why didn't anybody tell me that this was a possibility? So when my son was at colegio, he had one of those oudersavond, voorlichtingsavond. Dus you would get information. But every single topic was becoming an employee. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with becoming an employee, but you should be at least be informed that you can work by yourself. Yeah. Colegio, my son had a book. He opened it up, and he saw my name in his book.
What?
Okay, we're 21 years different.
Oh, you mean like
my son?
Werkboek die
Werkboek die me. Not school.
Well, it's like you getting a book from your mom. Yeah. Like, what the hell?
That's what I say. They still be using the same thing. Young people and really?
Yeah. But I cannot even. That's the whole thing. So the whole mentality. My youngest kid right now goes to school. He can play the whole day. You know, he can play the whole day and he can sit in certain corners, do certain stuff. But I'm not sending him to a church school, man. You know, that you need to be forced to sit in a listen, do this, do that. I want him to become whatever he wants and to maximize his artistic side and you need to have fun.
And that's what I think is super, like, I feel like this is what's needed. And like kids, I feel like need to get not jobs, but like certain type of hobbies that they kind of like invest in learning in something. And that like, if they've realized like at like 13, like, okay, you know what? I don't like this anymore. That's okay. But most of us go on to school. And then after you finish, then you realize like, okay, I hate this job after all these years.
Oh.
But while you could have probably learned it from like a young age, maybe something similar.
And that has a negative effect for the whole society.
Yeah.
Because that person starts to feel as a loser. Or he doesn't make his school. I believe 90% of the kids that go from Aruba to Holland don't finish school. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then they start feeling like a loser. Then they start smoking weed.
And they don't want to come back.
Too much weed. Then they fall in depression. Then and so it has a whole ripple effect. Instead of being motivated in whatever you like, and then become the best in that. Mm-hmm. And so that's a whole, and I'm a hybrid. So I know the old school and I know the new school. It's very confusing even to me right now. Because although that you need discipline, too little bit of a discipline will fuck you over. Mm-hmm. Too much will also fuck you over.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be a line between, and there needs to be a balance between both.
And it's also social pressure, you know? Like when you go to school, like, oh, I don't like this, but you know, I need to make my parents proud. Or if I quit, everybody back home is gonna call me a loser. Mm-hmm. So let me just force myself through hell. And then when you graduate, like, yeah, I graduated, but I really hate what I'm doing. And you're gonna work a job in what you just studied, and you're gonna hate what you're doing. And then that's what you said, it just ripples all the way back. You're going to a job hating it, and then you're gonna work with somebody else, or maybe you have this negative thought, negative feeling when you have a kid. You're gonna instill that into your kid because you hate your life.
I mean, it's 100%. I feel like with parents, a lot of the times, if it's one person you just never want to disappoint, it's your parents. So you just
1,000%.
They can be mad at you. They can say all of those things. I'm okay with that. Bitch, be mad. I don't give a fuck. Okay. But the moment your parent looks you in the face and they tell you, I am disappointed in you.
Yeah, that's facts.
That fucking thing fucks with your mental. That shit breaks you in so many pieces because like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'd rather you be mad with me, but not disappointed. Like disappointed, I feel like that's like, you fucking knew better and that's what you did. Like that's how you just take that in that moment. So I feel like, especially like when they go abroad and they're doing all these type of things, especially people that come from like humble beginnings, most of the time the parents like keep instilling like, I didn't get all this opportunity, so like I did all of this for you. And you remember, I worked 2 jobs to make sure you can go to Holland and study and do all this good stuff. So get back with your degree. And they don't understand that the pressure that even they are putting onto their kids, because they're like, I want to become a fucking music producer, but my parents don't believe in that shit. They believe in I gotta be a lawyer,
go be a doctor,
or a doctor, or one of these good stuff. So it's like,
you know, the almost all the problems start with there's no money.
That's the biggest problem right there.
And back in the days when we used to live in the jungle, we used to hunt and we come home with
this guy went way
with
back.
A cow, or you come home with a cow or a pig, the whole family is
Chicken.
happy, right? So we don't have that transition anymore going into the jungle and but money nowadays represents that hunt. Okay? And a lot of times now, even within that pride that you were talking about, there are different levels. But somebody that's depressed and you start giving him or her a career, they start feeling proud. Proud of themselves. They start making money. They can take care of their family. Especially men, that you want to take care of your family. That's at least I do. When I see Tracy and the kids, everybody's playing, it makes me proud. That's what I want to do. And I think that's the same. It's the same way that we felt 1,000 years ago. But nowadays we do it in a different way. And disappointing your parents, especially if you got good parents, but they're even more old school. And this is where they are right in certain stuff. You need to have, even if it's not certain schooling, you need to go through a process of doing work that you don't like because you need a steady income. You need a steady income.
That
even
part.
if it sucks ass to do that job, you need to do that because once you got a steady income, you can start talking about your dreams or your visions or the direction that you want to go. And then from there on, I call that medium money. Okay, you need your medium money. With your medium money, you start to do your sidekicks, your dreams, your vision, whatever you want to do. And when you make enough money in that fast money, that's when you let go of your medium money. Okay? Do you understand a little bit where I'm going?
Yeah.
Some people are, the medium money is doctor, some are a GM of a company, some are a waiter at a
It's
company.
just a steady income that
A
you know you
steady
get
income.
every single month. You know you're gonna get this money.
Yeah, just like you guys now with this show, you got certain wishes and certain ambitions and hope it blows up. And I had the same with the radio or with the billboards. I wanted 10 billboards, then 20, then 30, then 50, then 60, then 70, whatever the dream was. And at a certain moment, that becomes the new normal. And within those two, and this might be the most important part, is you need to save up enough to invest into real estate. Okay, build 1 apartment, 2 apartment, 3 apartment. Even if it's only 3 apartments, in the 30 or 40 years that you have a professional life, you build 3 apartments. By the day that you're 60 or 70, you got an income.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to count on the government for the pension, although that it will help. But you build something. So though that slow, medium, and fast,
and the slow is the real estate part.
the real estate, yeah,
That's-
because you
that's
don't
a
make
long-term.
it's a
long-term
long-term
investment.
Long-term.
Yeah.
And you only, let's say you guys, you do a gig this weekend, all right? You make $250 or $200, whatever the sum is. Sometimes you will build an apartment, you make $200 a month.
Yeah.
That's slow money. Maybe $500. You can do that in 2 days. So a lot of people don't have the patience to invest into the slow money because, man, I make that in 2 days. Why would I do that for 30 days? Mm-hmm. And that's when once you are too old to get into the game of real estate, it's over.
Yeah. And also slow money is also long-term secure money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You gotta work smart and not hard.
Yeah.
And you have to like the same book Rich Dad Poor Dad taught, like it was like always about you gotta find ways that your money works for you and not you work for your money.
Yeah.
So you need to find ways that it's like, okay, how can I make money with me doing as less as possible? That's where your mindset needs to go on when you're, I feel like, ready for the next level of, okay, let me make this next level of money that you do that over there, but I just collect off of that. Like,
Yeah. It's also because I'm also in the process of building a house. I was started realizing that, and I've always had this mentality like, damn, if I invest in a house, coño, 300,000, let's just say a number, 300,000 florin, like, fuck. People think you're just pissing away the money. It's like, it's gone. But people don't realize that the money is still there. It's just in a physical, like, it's in a physical form that the value is probably not going to go down. It's only going to go up. Your money is only.
I feel like they say like it's gone in the sense
It feels
of,
like it's not in your pocket anymore. It's
No,
in
but
some,
that's one of the problems that I have with education.
Yeah.
They install it into you that it's something bad.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at how I was.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna borrow 300,000, 400. Shit.
Yeah.
But it's a good thing.
Yeah.
As long as you are
you don't
able
live in
to
it.
rent it
If you don't live
for
in
more
it,
than
yes.
you're paying the bank.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, depending on your salary, there's a whole lot of circumstances and
Yep.
that you need to take into the equation to know where you're at. But you need to have a plan. That's basically what you were saying. You need to have a plan. A lot of people don't have a plan. When I start talking to people, within the first 3 minutes, I know if they have a plan in life or not.
exactly.
When we talked for an hour, do you think I have a plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I mean, it's an hour and a half conversation. I mean, goddamn.
You had better had a motherfucking plan.
Yeah, but that's why I'm mad at myself. I burned a lot of money doing dumb stuff, doing stupid shit. And I think I started making a real plan about my 33, 34 years
Bro,
old.
I'm 33 and I started making my plan this year.
Yeah.
Probably like 32.
Yeah. But my kids, because we didn't have, although I had a very amazing father, I had an amazing life with him, and I give him all the
cheers to you,
props.
Dad.
Yeah, he's an amazing person. But he didn't teach us about investing. You know, we're not talking about that. We were talking about making money in a form of salary, you know, and but investing into houses, real estate, we should talk about it. A lot of people, when I start talking about it, they're like, "What? Serious? I thought it was a bad thing. Oh, it's a good thing." And just those very basic. When I see people buying new cars, I'm like, man,
Yeah.
what are you
Yeah.
doing?
My mentality 10 years ago would have been that, bro, buy that car. And now I'm like,
I did it.
I had a Toyota Yaris, like, tu quebrar jodido. But it's just a depreciation asset. Like, I didn't even learn that from school. I learned that by reading a book or watching a video. Like, you know, like you said, the school system does not teach you how to be a business person or an entrepreneur. It just teaches you how to be basically an employee for whatever fucking company you want to work for.
And I feel like this is like one of like the great sides of growing up like from the streets is that once you're street smart, like you get to learn a lot of stuff that you don't learn at school.
Yeah.
So
You learn from experience.
you learn from freaking experience.
Yeah.
Like you see shit, like you just don't say shit. Like,
True.
okay, that's how that moves. You learn to observe. And I feel like that's one of the best traits that I have. I would observe the living shit out of something. I would like learn, study the whole thing before I approach. I see however some moods people are in before I make sure I'd say, okay, you know what? These are ready for like the real shark. Or you know what? They don't deserve that. Or you know what? They're not ready for that. I see like this is a lower crowd. You gotta just give them something different. Get into them before I can sell them whatever I'm gonna sell them. But you really have to learn shit like
You need to, whenever you see people, you need to see if they're into the victim role or not. You know, because life is not fair. We're not born all in the same family. We all got dealt a hand of
Different
cards.
hand,
You know, but that's reality. That's what you got. That's what you got to deal with. And some people call it luck to be rich, to be born in a rich family. I think it's unlucky. You know,
think so
a lot of the rich kids, they don't understand what the pain is not to receive the end the month any money. So there's an up and a downside to everything. But people with a victim role, walk away from them, man. They will suck all your energy out because money you can lose and make money, but the energy that somebody gives you energy or they steal energy.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I want to go back on something we were talking about earlier because you were saying earlier that the 98% does not listen from the 2% when it comes to the business people. I wanted. Fuck. How can I ask this? Damn it! I just had the question. Oh wait, and it's
say it as is.
it's kind of like the 2% of the people that own businesses that know how to work with money, that understand how to make more money. And I'm gonna say this, like I'm gonna talk just government wise. Like it's a lot of people in the government. I wonder because they want to help Aruba make more money for whatever fucking reason to invest in like roads, schools, healthcare, whatever. And I wonder, has anybody that's in government, the current one or the past have they ever even owned a business to know how to actually operate a business? You know what I mean? It's like, baby, was about you, but you don't understand the after effects that are gonna come in 10 years because you didn't use your fucking brain to do the calculation or see what the aftermath would be if you did that. What are your thoughts on?
You know, many times whenever let's start with the beginning, all right? Both sides need each other.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, and both have their specialty. So the last thing that I'm trying to do always is trying to downplay their importance. But I really wonder who comes up with these stupid ideas in their meetings. Somebody needs to say, "Listen, you know what? I got
Yeah.
an idea.
Yeah.
Let's give the home team 14% and the international team 7%. So, but guys, that's not fair. No, but don't tell anybody. Don't worry about it. As soon as we talk about it, then we'll just downplay them like they're against the people. Like, guys, it doesn't work like that. We just want a fair playing field. And then from there on, there should be a healthy a healthy relationship between the two parties. Because in the end of the day, I'm sure that they love Aruba just as much as we do. We want the best for the island. We're Arubans. And why can't we just get a certain level of trust and open conversations to reach a certain
Agreement.
Yeah.
If I may add to this, okay, because again, to me, where I'm at in life, I feel like it's all about mindset. And I feel like in this case scenario, the island, it comes down to our mindset again, because we don't challenge anything. We're very passive. It's one of the best things that we have about us. Why tourism runs so good on this island is because we are so passive and so loving and caring. But it's also one of the worst things that we have, because we let everything happen in front of our eyes. These guys speak out and they post everything and they say, "Hey, look, this is what's going on. Hey, this is what you want to do. Hey, like, just so you know." And we just keep scrolling. We'll be like, "Oh shit, that's really bad. Oh my God, how can they do this?"
But
Yeah,
they're doing
and you
anything
sound
about
like-
Life
it.
goes on.
Yeah.
Like,
A lot of times you even sound like a dickhead.
Yeah,
Because you're
life-
like,
life
man,
goes
he's
on."
complaining again. Look at him, and he's driving a Mercedes.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, I'm complaining because I don't think it's fair for the kids.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is why I say it's mindset, because people at home, okay, or the ones that are like going through the whole scenario, most of the
No.
people, they don't even understand what the government is saying when they have those live conferences and all that. When they start telling you like, nee, de inkomzaken van de this and this and that and that and that and that.
It's like big
Do
words.
you really feel like the people that I know my generation, okay, our attention span is already like this. Do you really think we are not that educated enough to just continue listening to like, okay, let me go see what that word means?
That's another
That's
thing.
exactly where it's coming down
Yeah.
from. It's all the mindset, because we don't understand it. We don't care to look into what these people are actually saying, because the government's receipt is, we talked about it. We had a conference about it. You didn't understand. That's not my problem. That's because you didn't question me about it. And I feel like that goes back to the system of what school is, to teach you to just get a job, don't question anything, go to school, follow the rules, do this, do that, and get your salary at the end of the month, pay bills, you have to pay back school, you have to do all of these type of things. Your salary is not going to reach for shit. If you try to make a different living, then that's not going to work for you either, because the belasting is going to fucking murder your ass, okay? So just try to like live and like pay back, because you're part of the system now. Okay, you're another number. That's how the fucking system works. It's fucked up. And it's the very small percentage that actually gets to speak out and say, hey, there's life outside of this zombie living that you're just walking in. People are just living they're not even living, they're just floating in life. Like, I just got another bill to pay. They're just worried of like, oh God, I got all these things to do. And they're not even like enjoying the real experiences of what life has to offer. Like, the luxury that we have on this island is fucking crazy. And like, people don't even understand the value of what these Americans like, or tourists in general, go crazy for. Spend 10 years saving their life savings just to spend like 7 days on our beach and go to all of our restaurants and try all of this good stuff, go on the tours and go to Phillips Animal Garden, a donkey sanctuary. Things that we take for fucking granted. We see them nasty ass blue lizard, those Kododos. We're like, che, halikone. These people are dying for them. They're like, look. They go crazy. We take what we have for like really for granted, and it's all because we don't understand what the government is telling us how they're gonna fuck us over next. Because we keep accepting everything, and we're not just like.
I don't want to say the government is fucking us over, But what I do want to
It's
say
part of
is
it.
two things. You're right, though. We need to talk more about this. That's why we opened this conversation. I told you guys I'm a little bit nervous to talk about this stuff because
nervous.
because it very fast people will put it into the political light.
Yeah.
No, it's not about that.
And it's not about that at all. That's
Fully.
one. And Aruba, although that, let's talk about the Aruba business side,
Yeah.
right? I think 10 years ago, one of the first, I posted something. I said, listen, si placa di zeta no ta llega na pueblo como ta llama e país. Okay? You call it socialism, right? Okay? But I will change the word zeta, this oil, to tourism. Because this is the whole thing, in my opinion. Tourism is ours. It's just as much yours, as it is mine. Our grandparents created it. It's our cookie. We all have a right to eat from it. Okay? If some people make the choice to work for a company, hey, fine. But if somebody else wants to participate, like a bus driver, a truck driver, not a truck driver, a tour driver, it's their God-given right. You were born on the island. How can we say, no, you're not allowed to? Because we already gave 10 permits. But listen, man, how about we're going to stop the amount of shops that sell shoes? No, you're not allowed to sell shoes, man.
It's
We already have 10
over-exaggerated.
shoes. Listen, we live in a free society. Free means free. Free, imagine, no, we have too many lawyers. You're not allowed to become a lawyer. But listen, my father was a lawyer. No, you're not allowed. Why? Because the government said so, which is why, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but they say, yeah, we got a taxi pirata. I'm like, listen, wait.
Taxi piratas.
That just might be an Aruban that cannot pay his bills, that is trying to drive for his kids, trying to get food, trying to get a permit to become a driver. It's not getting it. And now that he's trying not to sell drugs, doing anything bad, we call him a taxi driver pirata. I'm pretty sure he wants his permit. And that's when this not only for taxi. I'm against all moratoriums. What I am for is become what you want to become, but there are rules. You know, you cannot just have an old car with old tires, you know, whatever, or so. And
There needs to be
that's
standards.
my.
Correct.
I'm pretty extreme in this, though.
Yeah.
You know, I do understand when people don't agree with me. But people should just become whatever they want. It's that simple.
Yeah.
When you break it down, moratoriums is a fancy word to say a certain group is allowed and a certain group is not. And I'm against that.
I agree. I do think everybody should be able to do whatever like they want and have, like Sark just said, like have a list of standards. Like if, okay, you got this, you got a good car, okay, buti mo seguro, okay, buti mong title. All right, cool, you can do it. And, you know, maybe you have the same business as me. Now, they might say like, all right, you know, si amin team negosyo may kilos hindi mo. Like, no, I'm going to find a creative way to do my business.
Exactly.
Now, if it outplays yours, business is business.
That's nice.
And if you don't play mine, like, fuck. It's kind of like a game in a way.
But that tricks up the level of service.
That
100%.
exactly. That's how you elevate. That's how you
I
say,
understand.
okay,
I understand.
then.
That's why
And that's artistic.
Yeah.
Because now I need to do something that the competition isn't doing, putting my own sidekick into it. And that's how
it
you
stimulates the
elevate
business it forces you to like, I gotta up my game. Or you
It's
know
like-
what?
it's
I'm gonna
like-
put music in my fucking. It's
Of
gonna be like a
course.
party taxi. You know, like
which
shit like
is
that.
why a lot of times privileged businesses like certain departments in the government, certain departments work very well, but they close way too early because they got a guaranteed paid. My business, listen, if you call me at night, middle of the night, I'll wake up and I'll do whatever I need to do.
Facts. Same.
You know, so privileged business and real business are two different world, different mindsets, and which is also one of my extreme ways of thinking is, but people need to be compensated for the amount of work they put in, like on commission. Let's say you had a tax system, and for the people that help at the tax system would get 5 guilders per person that they help. Man, there would be no line, and everybody would keep on working.
Yeah.
You know, simple strategies. And I wouldn't mind even paying 5 guilders extra as long as you help me fast. I don't want to sit there for 2-3 hours.
And they treat you like you're bothering them. Like, do you not see me here talking to my colleague and drinking coffee? Like, don't bother me.
But I
It's like,
understand
Jesus
they're not
Christ.
making the money.
Yeah.
That's not my problem. You
That's
chose this
true, though.
job. I didn't ask you to apply for this job, baby girl or baby boy. That don't make your fucking problem my problem. I had a really good day because I chose not to work for people no more. So my day is going very much well. I do not need you and your negative energy because you don't want to be here. There is somebody else that would very much appreciate this job. So put them in your position.
Yep.
Because some sorry, but some salaries are people complain because it's like, that's so bad. But then you look at how they how they choose to live their life. Like, girl, you know you can't afford all those stuff. Why is you buying Prada glasses? Like, baby, like, what are we doing?
Priorities.
You need to control a couple of things in life to have a happy life. One is you need a nice bed. Okay? You need to have an okay sex life. You need a nice job. You need a nice family. You know, and if one of those are off, you're fucked, man. You know, and a lot of people don't put enough time. They like, oh, it's happy hour, it's Friday, man. I don't even like that. I'm like, fuck, I can't work. I love my work. I love what I do. You know, and people should find that. When when the person that you were talking about, a frustrated person working behind somewhere, I feel pity for them, man, because they're caught in the social in the how do you call that, in the system.
In the system,
And
they're a number.
they're a slave at that moment. You know, they're paying their house, paying their mortgage. They're probably frustrated trying to think, how am I gonna get out of
They're
this?
living check to check.
What's it called? The rat race.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
the rat
should
race.
help them
Yeah.
and educate them, because a lot of people have a lot more tools than they can't see them. I've spoken to a lot of people, because I got a house and I got this, and I said, listen, how big is your house? Yeah, I got 5 rooms. And with how many people do you live there? Yeah, with 2. Yeah, but I don't want to rent a room of my house out. I'm like, man, get over it. You know, put a door in,
Close
rent
it,
it.
yeah.
And but you know, and they got so much more
Fucking
than
facts,
only their salary. They got a car, they got free time. Transfer your free time into money. I'm good with my hands. Well, start painting a house. Do whatever you need to do.
People are so fucking lazy, man.
That's the
People are lazy,
and
dude.
procrastination is
100%.
crazy.
Dude, I bust my ass, dude. Like, I think I even told you on the phone. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. Last night I worked till fucking 2 in the morning. I came home. I edited the episode that came out. I went to bed at like 5 in the morning. Had to wake up at 9 in the morning, go to the Ritz-Carlton to host a fucking event. And then I came home, cleaned the apartment, and then set up the cameras and everything. And we're recording this. It's like, I know, and we talked about this on the phone. I was like, I know that this will pay off in like 2 years. I know that I want to grab, I keep
100%.
telling my girlfriend, like, here's a business idea for someone that's watching. Go find a place, put objects that's breakable, give me a bat, I'll pay you 50 florins, and let me smash fucking everything in there. Because
I wrote this down
Bro.
as an idea I'm gonna come with.
Really?
I swear to God. I swear to God.
I'm telling you, like, I understand. Okay, I'm not saying I don't have like suicidal thoughts or anything, but like I understand like some people in business, they probably want to kill themselves because like it could be freaking overwhelming because I'm trying to balance this, a job, and other things that I'm trying to do on the side, corporate events, like editing this, making Instagram reels. It takes a lot of fucking time to a point where I don't even have personal time. And that's what drives me. Because I was used to like, I'll go to Gusto and then the rest of the day, I'm like, go to the gym, go to the beach, go have a drink here. Now I can't even do any of those things. If I try to sleep on this fucking sofa, I'll sleep on this sofa just to get a nap in before work. And I'm like, okay, time to go to work. But that's what the part that's killing me right now, that I don't have
Yeah, but that's your advertising money.
Exactly. Which
gotta
goes
put the
back
work
to what
in.
you were saying. Make your free time money time,
Yeah.
And that's what we said. Like, I'm trying to make this, I know in 2 years or so, I'm like, all that busting and, busting my ass,
Yeah.
like, it paid off. I could now leave Gusto and I can focus on No Filter and something else.
I
And
feel like that's
It's the medium and fast money we were talking about earlier. Gusto is my medium money,
Yeah.
and this is like my fast money until this becomes my medium, so I can focus on the new fast, and I can invest in the slow.
And you should always be slightly out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. If you are too much out of your comfort zone, if you would throw me right now to become a pilot in an airplane, man, I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash.
Yeah.
And we're going down. All right, that's not.
I'm not
what I
going
want.
on that plane.
But this is very close to your radio show, your MCing, cameras, doing it, and
It's what we already do.
it's already what you're doing, and you
element.
keep on growing this, and you probably meet another people in the same. Just I'm a little bit into this too, and then you meet other creative people, and you keep on building.
Yep.
You're probably gonna end up in I never thought that I would sell signs on the side of the road. I mean, it even sounds pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Hey, who wants to become a sign seller?
Yeah.
Me.
What do you sell? I sell billboards. What?
Yeah, but you grow to places that you didn't see coming, and it's a beautiful thing.
I fucking agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But
for it.
to what you were saying, I feel like Omar was also saying, like there's also a balance that you need to find. And
Which
like
I'm trying to.
one of the things is first things I feel like is the spot that you're in right now, that is like the best spot. Like when you feel like you're at your breaking point, I feel like that's one of the most powerful spots that you can be in, because that's like, yo, I know what this feels like. I know what this is like.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's like we gotta go up from here, because I know what this is like. This is like the darkest moments of
You
like,
want to eliminate
fuck.
this, because once you eliminate, like I know where I was. So wherever I go next from here, I'm like, I've been in worse places, bro. Like this is
But
nothing.
with that, you gotta enjoy the ride
100%,
up,
100%.
and you also need to find. That's what I'm saying with the balance is that you're saying that you don't have time to like relax and do anything like that. Find at least an hour for yourself in your 24 hours. You need
understand.
to find that. You take
That's
2
my
hours
sleep.
because you need to find that hour where you give it to Tori, but you also need to find that hour where you get. No,
You have
for
to have
real.
that.
I'm for real, because he also just said you need a good
Yeah,
family
yeah.
it on your side. So you need to
She's
find
smiling.
that family time, because she's
Yeah,
gonna
she's
give you a perspective that probably an idea or something that you probably didn't even could probably finalize, because you don't have like another element.
Yeah.
But because you shared it with her and she was probably out with somebody and they were talking about something, she got some type of inspo, but didn't understand what that inspo can probably do to her. Now having an innocent conversation with you and you're like, yeah, I was thinking about this, and she's like, oh my God, this person mentioned this today, and but
You link it up.
you just link it up. Now you got like a
Yeah.
major freaking business idea and another way of y'all can like probably a new business venture to like elevate and grow it.
Well,
But
you
you
know-
need to find that balance.
But the thing is, when I say like I struggle, is because, and I mean, I'm sure Steve can agree, is like nightlife just fucking sucks the energy out of you, because especially being behind the bar, I'm like, let's fucking go. Like I need to entertain the people that are fucking there. I'm like, let's go. Like 6 days a week, like five times a week. But then like you're so tired when you go to bed, like, like I don't have the energy today. Like I literally paid for the gym for 1 month. I've been like 3 times. I'm like, I'm just gonna sleep. And then I just start.
But it's a beautiful thing, man. Just like I agree completely, because you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
You got to put in the work, the sweat.
At some point in your life, you have to
Yeah.
sacrifice 2-3 years of
and
life. to, like-
especially we're all poor rich people. We're not rich people. We have a nice life, but you need to transfer that time and that effort into a career.
yeah.
And time is what we have.
Yep.
The rich people, they have money,
Yeah. And they pay other people to
and they lose it, and they don't even care.
Hey, fuck, man, I lost $500,000 next week. Anyways, you want to go to Vegas next
Yeah.
month? I'm like, what the fuck, bro? You just lost $500,000.
Yeah.
That's fine. Don't worry
But
about it.
another thing, if we can like add to that, with a lot of like rich or like them rich people, what a lot of the times they seem to do that a lot of, I feel like smaller businesses, I'm like kind of talking to the smaller business people. What we don't do is we keep thinking of the small business as a small business. And once you keep holding on to that small business as, oh no, like, okay, we're gonna just keep doing everything, like I gotta keep doing everything and it's gonna remain a small business. But until you choose to be like, hey, you know what?
I'm gonna go
I wanna
bigger.
take my business to the next level, I gotta let it go a little bit.
Yeah.
And with letting go of some of those responsibilities, that means you need to hire some people under you to take over certain responsibilities.
If that is your choice. Some people want to, I call them busyness. Some people want to stay within their busyness. They want to be a barber, one person shop, and that's their business. And
I get that.
some people want to grow it, but busyness, there are a lot of businesses, and I've seen a lot of them work also. Because it's about after your third employee, you make just as much as by yourself. A lot of people don't know those statistics.
What is it?
Imagine you're making 5,000 guilders by yourself. Now, after your fourth employee, a lot of times you're making 5,000 guilders again
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
You know, by your fourth employee or fifth employee, sixth employee, you start making more. So now I've had it 1,000 times that my employees they got their salary and I did not. And now we have a rule that you need to pay yourself as a director. I don't know if you guys know, but there's a certain law now that you need to pay yourself 4,000 guilders. A lot of directors don't even make that money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, who
not
came up with
realistic.
this idea? You know, in the meetings that we were talking about.
The government that doesn't have any business knowledge.
I
not
don't
throwing
know.
shade to
I
the
don't-
government, but I'm just
no, I
saying.
would want to ask him.
It's not shade, but it's the honest thing. This is why I wasn't saying it that the government is fucking us in a negative way, but the government is basically telling us they're gonna fuck us because we accept it. We keep taking everything like they tell us in our faces. This is happening next. We're gonna hisa baby atrobe with this, and the gasoline is gonna go up, and all of this is gonna happen. And we just say
nobody has any say in it.
nobody doesn't. We don't even say
I mean,
shit.
well,
Nobody's challenging them and saying, "Hey, you know what? Why is that going
but
up?
they
Why
do.
is
That's why we stay quiet a lot of times.
But
Even before I came here, I spoke to a friend of mine. He's like, listen, man, I don't know if you should do this.
oh, for real?
Yeah. You know, because it doesn't affect us. That's the whole different perspective. If whenever they raise the taxes, the people that are not affected, okay, are the owners of the businesses many times. Okay, but why? Because you raise your prices. It's a deflation or of prices that you're creating. Because if my margins are 10%, you increase the taxes, it will stay 10%.
Yeah.
The people that are gonna pay for it is the one with a minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna get all the and then they and this is the ridiculous part, and then they raise the minimum wage again. You know, so it's the whole time increase taxes, increase minimum wage, increase taxes,
Nothing even ever changes.
And-
like
and who's
minimum subi, yay! But you dumbass, like tax time subi, this
Cost
you're
of living
still
went
the
up
it
same.
even went up more.
Yeah.
Deflation or inflation,
Inflation,
it went
yeah.
up 20%, something like that. And the minimum wage went up 50 guilders or 60 guilders. And I think it's so unfair for
It's also just knowledge, man. People just don't know.
That's why I'm saying they're not trying to educate the people that don't understand. Because again, like he said, the ones that have to pay it are not the ones that it's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
it's the ones that have no idea that this shit is actually going on because they are working, and after work they're in a bus coming home to go home to cook for their family of their kids that was home the whole day by themselves doing absolutely God knows what because their parents are working all day every day because that's the life that they live.
What
Part of
helps
the
the poor
system.
people is lowering taxes. That's what helps. And so in the end of the day, instead of being, let's use round numbers, $10 for a piece of bread, you pay $9. You know, but in the end of the day, for the business called Aruba, lowering taxes will keep more money on the island.
Yep.
In the end of the day, the government will make more money.
Do you have an idea like, okay, this could work? You know, like, for example, what kind of move can the government make to like lower taxes? Is there something in the back of your mind like, I think this could work?
Absolutely. Not only
think
in my
weeds
mind,
are
I think a lot of people, their mind.
I mean, if you say it now and they do it after, we can all say, Omar Steve said it first. You guys came after it.
Oh, that would be nice.
They definitely legalize.
No, I mean
I'm
it's
sorry.
nice if we inspire people.
I
you
hope
know,
so.
But back in the days when they started with the tax system, there was no internet, no PayPal, no credit card, none of those stuff, right? So if you wanted to transfer money to Holland, you need to go to the post office, fill out a lot of stuff, and
Western
you arrive
Union.
there after a couple of days. Postagram. I don't even know how it all went, but nowadays you got two types of taxes. You got the taxes of omset, like sales tax. Whenever you buy something in the store, you pay your taxes right away. And you got profit tax, and you pay that at the end of the year. Back in the days, you only had profit tax at the end of the year, okay? But with profit tax, it's very old school. Let's say we would change the system on Aruba that everything is being thrown into the sales tax, like in Miami, Florida. I believe it's 22%. And so right now on Aruba, sales tax, let's call it like that for the sake of conversation, is 7%, the BBO, and the profit tax is 22%. Let's say we turn it around. We do the baby O at 22%, but profit tax at almost zero. At the end of the month, the government would have all its money, its fair share. And the business, whatever you have on your account, it's yours. Right there, everything is fixed.
Yeah.
You know, you don't even need an accountant. Sorry to my accountant because he knows his job. But he agrees with me.
Yeah.
He's like, man,
He's like,
we
I
could
agree,
do that.
but don't do it because I'll
But
be out
what
of
would
business.
happen is that we wouldn't need the taxes, that whole tax building. We
Yeah.
wouldn't need it anymore. And that's where the politics a lot of times comes in because, and also the human side, because I don't have all the solutions, but a lot of the jobs wouldn't be necessary anymore.
And you have a lot of high unemployment rate will go up in Aruba.
Yeah, but if we could educate people to do other stuff again, you know, the last
Agriculture
thing that we
go-
should do is create unemployment.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a very human aspect in but maybe they'll be happy with give them certain permits, you know, or give them certain
let them be a taxi,
opportunities,
not a
or
taxi.
If-
give them something
Yeah.
to
If
we're
we
gonna
can
take it.
add to that, I feel like what's something that like to your question, something that we can add. Okay, so two things that I feel like for sure that can definitely help is legalization. Sorry, we just need weed to be legal.
No,
That's just
I
that.
was gonna go into that in a bit.
But another thing is a lot of franchises. So if a lot of
They
people
need to go, or
they don't need to go, but I'm saying like if you look at like Bonaire, they don't have too many franchises of anything.
you only have KFC.
But a lot of the things are cooked right then and
Yeah.
there. So, and like I was talking to a friend of mine, he's in like Bermuda, and he was saying like in Bermuda, the people's mindset is very much different than how it is here on the island. There, they feel like if we can make it, why would we pay for it? Like, why can't we just make that same thing, you know? So why would we go to like Burger King if we can just make a burger
at
shack?
home. Yeah.
Like for everybody
mean,
on the island to come
It's
and
just
purchase there.
It
and then-
goes back to what I said earlier. People like could be lazy, and Burger King is Wendy's is. Shout out to our sponsors.
no, but
it's convenience. You know?
it's a very tricky conversation because we were just talking about how blessed we were with tourism, right?
True.
Okay, we sold our sold our soul. Sounds too heavy, but we got a beautiful history. That's why we are such friendly people. Okay, it's not from one generation; it's from generations.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, if somewhere you got a war in the middle, it will ripple down to a couple of generations after that. Now, because we have that, because a lot of countries have nice beaches. We're not the only one. All right, and we're lucky about our location in the world. We don't get any storms,
Hurricanes and all
any
that, yeah.
hurricanes, so we don't need to start over like St. Martin every 15 years. So we got a lot of benefits, and that's why we got tourism. And tourism is a different world for service. Tourists don't come to Aruba for only the beaches. They come for the nice people and the nice food. Our Disneyland is the quality food that we give them.
experience.
The average tourist comes back to Aruba 6 times.
True.
Okay? This is why I don't understand why we're trying to do more of the same with the main street, because the average tourist doesn't go 6 times to the main street. You know, you're going to do a tour once, and most of the
Bye.
tourists, and I understand them, because there are 2 types of vacations. There's a type of vacation that you're going to go touring. You know, you want to tour, and the
wanna
type of
see
vacation that you
Absolutely
want to let your
nothing.
guard down.
Yeah, chill.
Aruba is the type that you want to chill.
Yeah.
And
Go for
so,
restaurants, dinners,
yeah.
like relax, laid back.
yeah, and the ecosystem is basically a tourist goes to their room, take a shower, goes to sleep. Next morning, go to the beach, take a pina colada, goes to the room, goes down, talks to their friends, talk bullshit, charge the battery to
Have
go back to the
lunch.
concrete world of New York or Boston.
Yeah.
This is why also when we talk about, okay, we're talking about wheat, which I agree partially with, but we should diversify our economy, but not in La La Land. We should diversify it with in my opinion, is I'll touch the topic wheat, but our strong point is our people and our beaches, all right? And within tourism, there are a lot of different types of tourism. Now, we spoke lightly about this, about, for example, San Nicolas. Okay, we're talking for years what to do there. Why not? How will I explain? Let's say you break up, not break up. Okay, so you got, let's say, 10 plots of land. You put an LLC and you start going to colleges in the States, like in Miami, and you would tell them, listen, open a college here on Aruba, get your, just like Xavier does in North.
Xavier and
Yeah,
the medical
Xavier,
schools, yeah.
medical school, and then start a college here. Whoever comes to your college in the States can come 6 months to Aruba. They will bring knowledge to Aruba. They will bring consistently dollars and income. And if I was going to a school in the States and I would have the opportunity to go 3 years to New York and then 1 year I'll go to Aruba, man, I would want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. There's actually there's already some people that I know that came from the States and they're going to university here in Aruba.
Yeah.
And they're like it's the best thing they've done because they're having so much fun and going to school,
course.
exploring new cultures.
A friend of mine is on this moment on a boat. He went to different islands around in the Caribbean. We are so blessed on this island, man. Crime is low, and this is why also where I'm very thankful for the government because they do a lot of good jobs too.
Yeah.
Crime is low. Our educational system is not the best, but it's still there. Even our social system, I'm very proud of it. Although that I'm a capitalist, I'm also very much a socialist in the sense of I want to take care of the older people. We should take care. We got a responsibility as Arubans. You know what I
I
mean?
mean, they gotta do. I was at what's the place called? Where they have the older people.
There's a lot.
No, the one in downtown by La Granja area. Jeez, I was just there. Casa Caf. I don't remember. Anyways, that place looked freaking like really, really bad. Like it looked like a little prison, and I saw all these old people like in wheelchairs. I was like, what the fuck? Man, I just want to throw that in.
Like in the back
Thank
by
you.
Alfie's. Right there.
Thank you.
No, for real. Because I
Yes.
know I'll say this because the event I hosted today is from a company from the States, Cox Automotives, and they came. There 230 people were at this place where they were. They all painted the building. I swear to God, I got there the day before. Place looked like shit.
Is this like after you pass Alfie's?
In that area, yeah.
Like more by citizens
It's
over there.
it's kind of
Okay, I know what the place is. It's
It's
like,
like dois ka sangre, ta sangue, tudo com aí. Fuck, I'm the current number, okay.
I think I know what you're talking
Anyway, it's like
about.
an old retirement home. It would take care of the people. Anyways, I think the mansion shit. Like, anyways, I went there a day before. The company came there to do like a whole community service work, where the place looked horrible. Like fucking weeds, painted, broken doors. These guys came, painted the whole, like multiple buildings, fixed everything, and even the president of the company was there. He looked around, and they literally was like, "Hey, I see you guys need some stuff," and they told the director of the place, we're gonna donate $15,000 so you can buy like AC units and like all that
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
Yeah. But like it goes back to what you said. Like the government needs to make that money to take care of the elderly. Because, bro, when I saw that, I was like, I am
But the
not
responsibility should also be with the elders themselves.
Yeah.
People don't talk about that enough, but that's why doing business or doing whatever or creating a pension, you should not. I think it's a lot of people rely on the
at Saba. There you go.
Saba.
At Saba.
A lot of people rely on the government for their older days. You shouldn't do that.
Nope.
They should have part in it, but you shouldn't count on them. There's a difference between those two scenarios.
The system.
Yep.
Chemistes, baby. So listen up. This is your chance to win with Wendy's, okay? So all you got to do is purchase their chimichurri cheeseburger, all right, with a Coca-Cola Zero. Make sure you write your name, address, and phone number, all right? And you have to deposit it in one of the ballots that they have in any one of the Wendy's restaurants. Make sure you have to be a member, okay? If you're not a member of the loyalty program, you are not participating in this at all, okay? And the winners will be announced on the 15th of July. So make sure you sign up. Ow.
I did want to go into something that Shark just brought up, which is the whole weed thing. I personally don't smoke, but I do think it's good economy wise. Like it could bring, like, if you tax it right, blah blah blah. Give me your opinion on this. I've brought this up even to Evelyn, because we had Evelyn like on the show, and I was like, why because I think from what I've heard in the past, I think it's only 5 licenses that people that can actually sell the dispensaries. I don't know who has them. Apparently, it's already been given out. I don't fucking know. But I have said, like, what if the government didn't hand out any license and opens up a separate part of the government that's not really controlled by the government? It's part of the government, but not really. And the government has full control of the dispensaries on the island. If you have 5 spots, you put 2 in North Palm Beach area, 1 in downtown, and 2 like up in St. Nicholas, like spread it out evenly. And I was like, what if you sold all the weed for recreational use, medical use, whatever? To, you know how many tourists? I mean, listen, whatever it is. I work in a bar. I work in nightlife on a daily basis, 3, 4, 5 times a day. Yo, bro, where can I get some weed? Every freaking, and it's just like normal people who look like a pothead to people who are wearing a fucking Rolex that are worth more than my car. It doesn't matter, like, income wise. But I've always said, what if the government had the control of the weed, and all the money that's being made from that goes into the education, school system, streets, elderly, and then with that, you can lower the taxes on those people that live in Aruba, because the government is already making so much money from this that they don't have to take money from us, which is the people of Aruba, and make it even easier for businesses. Like, hey, instead of paying 22%, now you get to pay 18% because we're making a fuckload of money over here. So everybody gets to keep their own money and spend their own money in Aruba instead of, not spending it here. That's an idea I've always had. I said to Evelyn, that's not wild. That's not wild.
That was a question?
That was kind of like it wasn't a question. It was more about
The system you're talking about, they used in Utah. In Utah?
okay, yeah,
The States, all right? The government owns...
Did it work?
The government owns all the liquor.
okay.
Okay? I'm completely against that.
The liquor,
Okay? No,
government
against
owning.
government owning it.
or okay,
Imagine that, okay, let's stop talking that it's weed, it's tomatoes.
okay,
Okay? And now we're going to say, listen, Samil, you're allowed to how do you say it? Quake?
Like grow and sell.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
allowed to grow tomatoes,
Tomatoes.
but Sharky, I'm sorry, you're not. Okay, so now we're gonna start. That's the opposite of capitalism. Okay, what I'm for is a lot of rules. If we would talk about tomatoes or weed, is these are the rules. It needs to be clean. You need to wash your hands. You need to do this. You need to do that. Da, da, da. But as soon as you comply with all the rules, you're allowed to sell tomatoes.
I understand what you mean, but what I'm talking about is like nobody can, like, it's only the government can sell the tomatoes. As in, nobody is like,
Yeah, but let's say the government is the only one that can sell shoes or sell caps or sell that's not how it works. That's communism.
because I feel like if I had the license, I would keep all the money. I will go, my family, we're gonna go to fucking Dubai party. The money will never stay in Aruba. I'm gonna spend it somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's like, because if whoever opens this dispensary is gonna make a fuckload of money.
No, it depends on if there's one, you're gonna make a shitload of money. If there are 100,
Yeah.
everybody's gonna make less. At a certain moment, nobody's gonna want to open a dispenser.
Okay.
Okay, so a good economy is not based on a high GDP. A good economy is based on the money is divided over
Equally.
the people,
Yeah.
and that's something that I was in a charla long time ago of the tourism, and they were like, look at Aruba, we have a huge GDP. So listen, you don't look at GDPs, you look at how many people are eating from this, and now you were talking about one dispenser. I'm against that, and then the weed thing is another thing. Of course, it would be a little bit of Aruba. I think it's ridiculous that it's not legal yet. Okay, that doesn't mean that I'm per se pro weed. It's more like if I want a pizza right now or weed, the weed will be here faster.
Yeah.
Okay, weed is already legal, but it's not.
Yeah.
Aruba is the only one of the only countries in the world where coke is cheaper than weed. Okay,
That is
so even
crazy.
yeah. So I'm not pro coke either, but we have to stop acting like it's not there.
That's
Yeah.
my fucking issue. Why
It's-
are people
it's-
acting like weed? Bitch!
You
they
know-
got two. I see these niggas sending broadcast. They posting on their WhatsApp status like, "This is the menu for the week." Nigga, I'm like, wait, people, what the hell do you even do? you name it. They got mushrooms. They got coke. They got 2C,
Everything.
ecstasy. Whatever you're trying to feel this weekend, they got it for you. It's all available. It's all available. And like, sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Like what he was just saying in the sense, like, look at it like Seitar. Everybody's complaining about Seitar's connection and whatever. There's no competition for Seitar. So you really think they're gonna care to like focus in? Oh no, let me think. But it's just same thing with the dispensaries. If everybody, like he said, if everybody has the license or they can't have a dispensary, but nobody's going at this one because they know, like, okay, no, it's Samil's dispensary. I'm getting quality because they're clean. The weed is always good. It's like always that. But if I go to like at Omar's place, it's always like, nah, like
it's favoritism.
it's like this. This guy got this.
You
thing
create
and-
favoritism by moratoriums. We're back at that, you know, and we shouldn't do that. And it's unfair to say that everybody would do it. Listen, man, does everybody do podcasts? No. Can I do it? Yes. I make a choice not to.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole thing. The reason that I'm not pro weed, but the reason that I would say that I am pro legalizing weed is because I want them to pay taxes just like I do.
Yeah.
You know, they're driving, delivering weed all around the island and not paying their taxes. And this is the whole thing. I'm sure that they want to pay taxes because they don't like the life of, you know,
Of secrecy, hiding
secrecy.
yeah.
And a lot of those guys are nice guys. They're
the
just making a
best.
living. They
The
are.
best. Some of them.
You know, so
It's like you all know them. Like, yo, it's true.
I love
They're,
my
they're
kids.
the sweetest people ever.
a lot of, and that's back to the topic why I came here. A lot of kids that are in crime are not in crime because they chose. It's just the only thing that they saw, and they didn't have
Circumstances.
mentors around them to learn. When I hear rap music and they're like double up, I'm like, man, that's stupid. We triple up, we fourtel up, and we have no chance of getting into Kia because it's all legal. If you use that hustle for something positive, you'll be rich. But they don't know that there are more positive things. So this is why I'm sitting here. So we need to start doing this stuff. And then the community is arranging a lot of incentives, but you always see the same faces. You don't see young kids. So I don't know. I don't
Not
even
yet.
know.
Not yet.
Yeah, but I hope it starts.
Oh, it's coming.
This is why this show is here.
It's coming.
It's because, like, that's what I told you earlier today. Is like the people that watch this show, it's 18, like 16-year-olds to up to like 35-year-olds. So it's like we're definitely
Way
hitting.
older
Like,
than that, though.
I mean, no, what I mean is like 70%. Like if you look at our analytics, it's literally like 16 to like 35.
You guys are old back in the days, just like I'm old right now. My father was old at 30, 35, 40.
Yeah.
But my kids, they wear my shoes and we still listen to the same music. There's a different type of old nowadays. I think there's a huge connection between my type of old and the I got good friends that are 21, 22, you know, and so we can still talk the same languages.
Correct.
So I hope that we can use that as our advantage and start listening and
100%.
they need to start taking advice and then put the work in it.
I agree.
I feel like we need to get like it's what we said is we need to get back to like old school mentality with certain things, and kids need to learn the hustle from a younger age. That's just my
I
personal
mean,
opinion.
it comes down to your surroundings, That's what it comes down to, like who you surround yourself with. As long as these people are like being mentored by somebody that knows better than them, like, hey, you shouldn't do that because this could happen. That would take off a lot of people off the streets and put the young kids. Every time I say young kids, I feel like I'm putting myself to be a fucking old person.
You are.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget when I talk to some people, like they're literally 10 years apart.
But that's a good system. Like if you take the example from the Dutch prison system and the United States, okay, the Dutch system, they really teach you to become something once you're incarcerated. Okay, so I think 90-something% never go back to prison. In the States, man, they just lock you up and throw the lock away. What that says to me is that a lot of those kids that are in Kia right now, they don't want to be criminals.
Yeah.
They don't know. They just want to make a living, and some of them are. Some of them will, but it should be less. And by teaching business, small word for a million things, Some of them can paint cars, become this, become that. There's a million
And they
possibilities.
can make a
man.
living out of it.
Yeah.
I aspire people to read the book Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice.
Oh, you have that one. I have
By far, I am obsessed with this book right
Rich
now.
Dad Poor Dad, if I can recommend.
I
that
read
book.
that one first, and that one changed my life. But now this one,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I actually have the Rich Dad Poor Dad. I just never got to reading it. I think I did, but like the words is very like outdated, like old school. Maybe you got a revised version
that
of
book
it.
is so easy. It's an easy read. I love it.
Okay, maybe yours like an updated version.
I don't know. But it was good.
Any book you recommend? Oh, you don't read books yet.
I can barely write, man.
I got a writer. I pay.
I'm not even kidding. A lot of times I'm like, hey, Tracy, did I make a mistake here? Nah,
You
nah,
realize your
I'm
Hey.
semi-proud.
Hey, don't worry,
Because-
I'm the same. When I write something, like I was writing a description today for YouTube, it's like, let me read it to make sure you don't make any mistakes. I'm like,
Thank you.
all right, that one, change that one. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm not stupid. Just like it's not my forte.
But I think if your dumbness, all right, because that's your dumbness and my dumbness,
Yeah.
you got to be proud of it because a lot of people that means you can connect with a lot of people.
Thank you.
You can talk, you can think simple. 99% of the people
talk.
are simple, and so you can relate to them. So you shouldn't try to become,
Thank
a
you.
lot of professors are poor and they don't misunderstand the whole life. Just like a lot of politicians, they're way overstudied and they don't see
They're not connected to
details.
like the normal like average
Yeah.
person.
The simple life.
Damn, man.
So you got to be proud to be a little bit dumb, man. It's okay.
Proud to be dumb. I'm gonna make a shirt about it. Proud to be dumb. A business idea I'm gonna make.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, we're reaching the end over here. We're already at an hour and a half. We usually try to keep this around 1 hour. We always say that, and we never fucking do. We have only
That's
one
nice.
episode under 1 hour. Everything is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because conversations got good, and you don't want to stop, the whole ball rolling. But I feel like this is something, and I've told you this as well. Like it's something we want to get more into. Maybe even once a month, we bring like somebody who's like in the entrepreneur line just to like educate people who want to start a business or people that need to learn shit about the business, and they can learn from somebody like you. I even the people that I want to bring, which I hope I get, like Eddie DeVere is someone I would like to bring on the show. Saladin, Francis Saladin.
Francis.
Also, I want to bring on the show. These are all people that
Franz is also very interesting. Franz, the owner of Do It Sam.
Yeah.
Because
Oh.
he's an entrepreneur and a businessman.
Yeah.
To be an entrepreneur, you need to be crazy.
Yeah.
Because you're putting everything you got on the line, and a lot
Yeah.
of people don't see that. You're jumping out of a plane, and nobody's believing in it.
Yeah.
And then once you got the results, people say, "Oh, he's lucky."
No. I put my house.
You got a lot of interesting people, man,
Yeah.
on the island. The guys from Crown, the guys. Every single businessman has his own story, and you need to ask them. And everybody.
That's gonna be
it's
a
super
thing.
interesting, man.
Well, you're literally the first one we brought that was an entrepreneur on the show. So thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank
Um,
you.
Anything else you want to say before we round?
No, wish you guys the best of luck. It's a nice show. Keep on rocking it, and
Thank
keep
you.
the conversations open.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Always.
All right, guys, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow us on Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram. And can't believe I forgot to say this, but every single week we give away a 6-pack of Heineken Silver and a 3-pack of Desperados. All you got to do is leave a comment down below, comment whatever you want, and we pick a winner next week. So we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Ow.
Take care, guys.
Awesome.